Welcome to Find Your Fridays with me, Lorene. How are you? How are you? How are you? I'm really happy to be here with you today. Let me just get some of these background things sorted out. Alrighty, ho. And there we go. Perfect. So we're up to episode 24 in season 4. Holy. Hello, Crystal. Oh, goodness. How are we doing? How are we all doing? Have you had a brilliant day? I know I have. Hi, Tamara. Hello, darling. I love having, two different platforms that I get to play with. Not including the one I'm using, obviously. Have you all had a great day, week? It's, we had some, hopefully things were a little bit more settled for you this week. I know they were for me. So, yay. Chris Lee says, had an amazing day. Yes, me too. I even managed to catch a nap this afternoon, so I'm pretty happy about that. Ooh, and my python ate this evening. So she's not into brumation just yet, but she's nearly there. I think she's gone into her. So I've got something interesting to share, a lovely little correlation. You know how there's hi Melinda, hi Edwina. You know how there's those lovely memes that people put up with things that my dog taught me or things that my cat taught me. And I'm like, I actually really require to put something about things that my python taught me as a woman. And this is going to be a bit of a TMI moment, but I'm currently on my heavy day. And as such, it's a bit uncomfortable. And with Trippy, she didn't want to eat last week. She was just kind of in her cave. I was like, okay, are you going into blue? Are you going into shed, or are you going into brumation? Like, which is this happening? Like, and turns out she was actually going into shed. However, I think it's the pre-brumation shed. Blah, try saying that 5 times fast. And because when I went to go and feed her today, because I saw her sort of out and about a little bit yesterday, and I thought, oh, okay, you're not into full brumation yet. So when I saw her this evening, I was like, let's see if you'll eat. And with a little bit of coaxing, she did. But it was like, if I have to, and this is not unusual for her, not unusual. And as I was laying down for my nap before, getting ready for the podcast and stuff, I was laying there and I went, there are some absolute correlations about how she responds to feeling uncomfortable. And the really fascinating thing for me is that, let's do a biology session right now. And if you don't know how a snake sheds, what it does is it actually sends out, it excretes a layer of lubrication between the top layer of its scales and the next layer down, because these scales are actually made up like human skin. They're lots and lots of little layers. And their body excretes this lubrication, and it's uncomfortable because then they sort of feel like it's like an ill-fitting sock, or like something that's just sort of pulling on your body just that little bit the wrong way. And that's why they tend to go and sleep for a bit. They slow down. All pythons do this, all snakes do this. They go and they slow down a little bit, and they just sort of let the lubrication move around, and then they wiggle out of their skin when it's ready, or they're shedding. And I thought to myself, interesting that it's called shedding, isn't it? Because that's exactly what a woman does. But we work from the inside and shed our layers. And I thought to myself, how interesting that I've never actually put those two correlations together before. We see the external representation of what a woman goes through every month externally with our snake world and our lizard world as well. You know, they do shed as well, and many reptiles do actually. And I was thinking, what has Trippy taught me? She's taught me that it's actually totally okay to wish to not look at the world while you're feeling uncomfortable, while you're preparing to go through that process, that very super uncomfortable process of actually, you know, shedding. And I thought, how often as a woman over my many years of, you know, having my menstrual cycle, I have just pushed through. I have not allowed myself that time and space, and society hasn't allowed me, and therefore I haven't allowed me, because I didn't have the confidence to say, actually, you know what? I think I'd rather stay home. I think I'd rather rest. I think I'd rather actually just curl up and drink a cup of hot chocolate and watch some Netflix and just, that's it. That's all I wish to do today. Or, you know, just go and rest, close my eyes and forget about the world for 24 hours or 48 hours or however long. And it's only in more recent times when I've felt particularly bad pain that I've made that call for myself and said, sorry, work, no can do. And I think, honestly, if we were to take our inspiration from the natural world around us, we would be far, far more honoring of what actually works for us, males and females. I'm talking about this as a female because I am one. And it's just relevant in this moment in my time. And I just think it is so fascinating to look at how we can go, and just ignore it. Go, it's fine for her, but it's not for me. It's fine for, you know, my snake to make space for herself, to get a bit twitchy. Like last week when I went to go and feed her and she was hiding in her cave, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll just bring the food to you. Because normally she'd be right out waiting for the food. And she was like, not. And I was like, I'll give it a go. And she was just like, like, if she had hands, she'd be punching it away. Just like, get that fucking shit away from me. I don't want that right now. Can't you see I'm busy? I'm busy doing my thing. I'm busy resting right now. Go away. And whereas this evening with the food, after she's shed, after she's gone through that, and then she's in this quite sensitive place right now where her outer scales, her fresh new scales, they haven't been hardened to the world yet, a little bit like us. You know, when we've gone through that deep, heavy shedding and we get a bit sensitive, we get a little bit like, I just don't, like, just... We don't like it when there's fighting around us. We don't like it when there's those harsh energies. We don't like, if we really be honest and track our own moods and our own sensitivities around our cycle. I heard the most brilliant thing. It was actually from Adam Cam the other day. Maybe it was this morning. He said, to all men, you've got to really understand women have 2 good weeks a month. That's it. So you've got to be prepared for those other weeks of the month that they might not be so happy. They might be a little bit like Trippy was last week, where she's like, fucking get away from me. And this week she's kind of like, oh, like, oh, okay, I'll eat, but gently. So I just wish to bring that to you so that maybe you can take that as your permission too, to start honoring your body a little bit more deeply. I'm fortunate that this part of my cycle this month has popped up on my weekend, which works for me. Yeah. So, yay. Good morning, England. Hello. I love this. Oh. Oh. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Crystalie, I so appreciate that. Hello, Christine. So I've got America, I've got England, we've got Australia, South Australia specifically, and we've got Queensland. Woohoo! Queensland represents. Oh dear. Whereabouts in England are you from, my dear? All right. So there we go. Have permission to take time for yourself, should you require it, especially around that time of the month. And what I really love about the men who are coming through on, the reels and things, educating other men, they're not actually just educating the men, they're also educating the women. Because I thought to myself, when I saw that video from Adam Cam, Buckinghamshire, cool. Never been to England, so I'm not sure where that is, but that's awesome. Thank you for tuning in. How many women out there, you're all women at the moment, I assume, how many of you actually honor your body at that time of the month, at, the shedding phase? How many of you really, truly honor yourself? Because I know I haven't for a very long time, not until the last probably 2 years. But that's because I felt safe in the job that I've got now. I'm permanent. I have, personal leave. I have annual leave. I don't feel like I have that narcissistic boss stuff going on anymore, which I did in my previous job. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? How I had to feel safe in my work to be able to feel safe enough within me to honor me. And I'm like, wow. So we've got one person says that they bleed frequently, so probably not as much as they could. Another said she does now, but I can't say I ever used to. Yeah. And it's funny, my body, because she feels more honored now, she does this really cool thing. Like, we've been sort of like, because I work 4 days and then I have 3 days off. And when I can tell when she's trying to hold out to the weekend, she's trying really, really hard. It's like she might start at the beginning of the week, like she did this week, and then it's like, hold. I'm just gonna let a little bit. Now we rest. Now we've got to our Friday. Oh, yay! Now we can actually do the thing. And I'm just like, man, body, you're amazing. You are so good. Well done. But again, I think that comes back to this. My awareness says it comes back to the safety within. It's not that she can't take time off from work. It's that she actually enjoys her work, so she chooses not to. I'm like, okay, cool as. So a lovely user from Tunerinera from Buckinghamshire says, I didn't used to. Okay. I'm happy where I am now, but I too used to feel unsafe in previous jobs. Yep, says our lovely another watcher. I'm just I think as I get older and more upgrading and more honoring of this incredible vessel that I chose to create and move around in, I see how much I have controlled and manipulated and been almost abusive with the not honoring of what she actually required. And there are times that makes me feel sad because I know it didn't come out of just nowhere. It wasn't like I just woke up one day and went, woohoo, I'm not going to honor my body today. It was a systematic, implied, forced sometimes choice from outside sources that I then made my own choice. And now I can choose different. And that's a wonderful thing. When I started going on my feminine journey, that's when things really started to shift, which was really cool. Who wants to come and play for the weekly reading, please? Thank you. So what sort of things do you all like to do when you're in your honoring of your cycle, in your honoring of your body? Personally, I like being in my PJs. I like have soft fabrics against my skin. I love it when I don't have to wake up early. I do tend to wish to do low impact stuff. And I wish to a little bit of nature and a little bit just like that little hug moment, of just wishing to feel cuddled in and safe and snuggling up with a blanket and, like I mentioned with the hot chocolate and stuff like that, or maybe Tulsi tea or something that's a little bit more soothing. Things like lavender and rose scents and stuff like that become very important to me at that time. Christine says, I think external environment, society pressure more makes us dishonor our bodies. It has in the past, not so much anymore, because women like all of us have actually been very determined to change that narrative, and I'm grateful for that. Crystal says nature is what she likes. Christine, yes, walking with nature, breathing in the air, definitely out in nature, watching the birds, beautiful. Crystal, chocolate, hot herbal tea, blanket, woody, yes, all those things too. And my bed, love my bed, me too. And my my day bed, which is really nice and sort of squishy, soft, and it's just like it feels like I'm lying down and being hugged at the same time. If I decide that my bed is just like, I wish to have a change of environment. So yeah, I'll go from that bed to this bed, and then it's like, it's sweet. And now I can move my second lounge chair, and I can still watch TV if I wanted to. It is like a marshmallow pillow, in a lot of ways. Yeah, who would have thought it started out as a day bed from Blimkin IKEA? Alrighty. Ooh. So this reading is going to be for the collective for the 14th through to the 20th. And I went, ooh, because that is the last week of Pisces before we head into Aries, which of course is my birthday month. The daybed is, it's the base of it is like one of those ones that pushes back in, but the cushions on it are very, very firm, not comfortable to sleep on whatsoever. So I ended up buying a single mattress to go on top of it, and then I got a topper as well. So that's why it's so soft and squishy. Oh dear. Yes, it has been your birthday month, hasn't it, darling? Pisces, little old Pisces. I know a couple of little Pisceans. Soft and squishy. Let us have a look and see. What are we going to be working with for this next week? Now, this next week does include a new moon on the 19th. So that means that we are at the moment having a slowing down at the moment. So this is a really good time for actually getting, oh no, I'm getting my hair cut next week, the week after. Bummer. That means my hair's going to grow faster. It will. So right now is a perfect time for doing all of those like mulching and fertilizing and all that sort of stuff. And then after the new moon, that's a great time to start planting your seeds, whatever seeds it is that you wish to have. Oh, a lovely little Libran is our friend from England. My brother's a Libran. I wonder if you're a typical Libran like my brother, or if you've actually done some internal work. I get that you're actually done some internal work. Otherwise, you wouldn't be tuning in right now. So well done to you. Libran energy is really interesting to me because Librans are very creative people, incredibly creative. And I'm not sure if this is just my brother or if it is you too, my dear, but I'm always blown away by the amount of like fine detail, creative stuff that can happen with Librans. And you've just mentioned that your sister is also a Libra, but we're so different. I get that. My mum and I was born on the 12th. She was born on the 13th. You couldn't get any two different Arians if you tried. But there are certain elements that are still very, very similar that we share. It's like that lovely Venn diagram. Yeah. So like, and maybe this is the same for you and your sister of, there's me who's the one who's gone on the more spiritual journey. I was born that way. I was the weird kid she didn't know what the hell to do with because I was seeing spirits and fairies and nymphs and all sorts of things. She had no idea what to do with all that. So she just either ignored it completely and told me to just go off and play, or it was just poo-pooed straight up. So for her, she's very normal. She's normal in this world, and I'm the very strange woo-woo one. But the things that we share in common are things like we both have this way of being, like in a lot of ways, she's actually a lot more typical Arian in the way that people think of Aries, very strong-headed, forceful, it's sort of my way or the highway, just very, very strong, adventurous type personality. I've got the adventurous, and yes, I can be stubborn, Absolutely. And that's something we do share. There's also this way of looking at the world, which I'm not sure if it's nature, nurture, or both, where we're really good at problem solving. She just problem solves different things to what I do. And the ability to look at something and go, how does that work? And like, she's an incredible artist. She can look at a picture and go, I know how to make that. And it's like, she did cake decorating for many years, like with the really old school piping, all of that very, very fine lace work and all of that sort of stuff. Like, she was incredible. She was a fabulous dressmaker. And, so that level of creativity of working with hands, she's incredibly intelligent. And that is something that we also share. We share the love of language and using our brains and articulating in a way that serves us best. So I find that all to be very interesting. When I was doing my diploma in holistic counselling, I discovered, and we had a section on numerology, and I discovered that we have both the same life path number of a 5. But when you looked at all the aspects of a life path of 5, the stuff that was more on the positive side there was a lot more of me there. And of the negative side, there was a lot more of her there. And I just sort of sat with that and I went, why? For what reason would that be the case? And that was the moment. This is going back quite a few years ago now. But that was the point when I realized it was like boof, because I asked the question, so the information came through. And it was a remembering of when we were both still in spirit form, and we had a soul agreement that she had to be the opposite side so that I wouldn't choose that this lifetime. She had the job, she took on the responsibility of showing me what it was like to be this side of a 5, amongst a whole bunch of other things. So that I would go, oh, I don't like the feeling of that. I'm not going to play with that, and I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose this. And she also had to be very harsh with me because I'm such a bloody loyal little person, right? It takes a lot for me to say goodbye to someone, especially back in the young days. But she had to be that so that I would push away, find boundaries, learn what boundaries were, and then make my own way in the world. So my mum, at that point, I was like, whoa, what a huge sacrifice to make so that because she's completely different with my brothers. And this was the thing that really used to irk me for a long, long time. And then in that moment, it clicked. Everything clicked. And I just had so much gratitude in my body. So much gratitude for the hard path that she agreed to take so that I could be where I am now. And sometimes we have to look at things from a really different angle to see what the truth is. So you said, I'm Virgo rising, she's a Scorpio rising. I'm the quiet empath, she's the bossy older one, both very stubborn. Yeah. And there'll be something you two have agreed to in your spirit form that is like, this is what you have to show me. We mirror each other. Our siblings do this. For a long time, I would have been called the bossy one because I didn't feel safe. So I was trying to control my environment. Now, my question to you is, does your sister feel safe? Does your sister feel safe in her childhood, or did she? Or was she forced into a position of being the, like, maybe a little bit like I was, of being the mother, the substitute mother in the house? And as such, we overcompensate because we're children. And then because we then embed that habit of overcompensating and therefore becoming bossy and controlling, because we don't feel safe, we don't feel supported, we don't feel like we can call on the adults because the adults have gone wherever they've gone, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it might be. Quite often there's a reason why people are bossy. I know, because I used to be like that. I used to be very bossy. I used to interrupt people all the time. I used to, now it's more of a flow of conversation, but I don't really care if people interrupt me back. And I also let people just talk quite a lot more than I ever used to. Also because I get to do all the talking now. I can't hear, so I get all my talking out. And I also get to talk quite a lot with my clients during the week, which is lovely. Just kidding. And but for me it was about feeling unsafe, and unsafe as a child, and that just flowed on to being an adult, being really fussy, being OCD, like hyper OCD, where when I was an administration manager, if somebody used my stapler, I could tell that they'd used my stapler because it wouldn't be back in the exact same spot that it was when I left it or saw it last. It's like I knew exactly where everything was. I knew, like, my drawers, my cupboards, like everything was meticulous. Must have been very difficult for my, husband and stuff at the time to deal with. But he lived with it for 7.5 years. So there we go. I can't have been that bad. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. And yes, absolutely. Being an empath and all of that sort of stuff, it's like, it adds a whole different layer to it, doesn't it? For sure. For sure. Alrighty. So, cool. Sorry, just making sure that wasn't something important. So, this reading for the next week, new moon coming, Aries, moving into the sign of Aries on Friday next week. So it's from the 14th to the 20th. This week, you are being encouraged to develop mental clarity. So what does that mean? A lot of people I've been hearing are saying, so much brain fog. Now, as I'm articulating that, I'm being told, okay, but what are you eating? How much processed food are you putting into your body? It's not to say that you should be vegetarian or vegan or carnivore or whatever. It's asking you, how much processed food are you consuming? Are you consuming soft drinks? Are you consuming, a lot of stuff with wheat in it? Are you consuming a lot of stuff with numbers and preservatives? Maybe this week, just as an idea, to see if it does help your clarity of your mind, go back to eating simple food. Food that you can tell what it is where it's like what the ingredients are of it. Today I went out with a beautiful friend for, turned out to be brunch, lunch, and a bit longer. Really should have taken some water with us, but anyway. And there was a hollandaise sauce with it. I asked for the hollandaise sauce because my body was like, yeah, hollandaise sauce, yay. I had some of it. And then my body was like, I don't know about that actually. Not too sure. So I had a little bit more and it was still like, yeah, no, it doesn't feel good on my tongue. So I stopped eating it, you know. And I know that for me, when I have been consuming things that have a lot of ingredients in them or a lot of preservatives or numbers or whatever, my brain clarity definitely diminishes. My energy levels start spiking, or I get incredibly tired. And it's interesting. It's interesting when you really start tuning in on your body and you go, oh, and then you can start asking things like, oh, does your body, do you actually wish to have, sorry, I just realized I hadn't put that on. Body, do you actually really truly wish to have that? Or is it habit? Are you having that because everybody else is having that? It also goes back to things like, anything you consume, any fluids, any food. Okay, just as a hint. This week, purple, developmental clarity. Be aware of the food that you're eating. Okay. Brilliance, discover your sparkle. So if you're developing your mental clarity, yay, you might actually discover your sparkle in there too. Because I know for me, definitely, when I start consuming things that are not good for my body, I lose my sparkle. I lose my ability to smile. And I like being able to smile and it actually reach my eyeballs. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I like being able to have long conversations with people and remain engaged and not feel like, oh, I better say this before it disappears out of my head. It's like, no, it's okay. Sparkle. And the more clarity you have, the easier it is to find your sparkle. And then you can tune in on your spirit team a lot easier. You can tune in with Mother Earth a lot easier. And the universes, like your higher self, your Akash, everything is so much easier. And all of those things together create your brilliance, your creativity. And along with that, it's going to be a very head-focused week, I feel, as we're looking over this. We've got lemon, which is access innovative thinking. So our collective reading today for this week to come is giving us a very clear plan. We have to develop our mental clarity, be mindful of what we're eating. We've got to discover our sparkle by having a nice, clear digestive system. Maybe for some of you, this developing mental clarity may be an indication for you that maybe it's time to do a fast or a cleanse or I don't know what it might be for you. For me, it's just making sure I'm being very conscious about what I'm eating. So for you, it may be one of those other things. Within that, you're going to start seeing your lovely little sparkle come out. And then you'll be able to access your innovative thinking. What I love that word. You'll get more creative at the end of the day. So that's a cool color, right? Lemon. What else are you telling me? Interesting. Of course, that's our third chakra. And they're saying go with your gut. So if you've got something that's bubbling away, that's a word that they also just used, was bubble. If you've got something that's bubbling away, you'll find it easier if you do these other things this week. So yeah, there we go. You'll be able to be more clear towards the end of this next week. And also remembering on Thursday, we've got the new moon. So that's a really, really good time to do some detoxing. And also this lovely peach color, which is encouraging us to do some deep breathing. Come back to this. Be engaged deeply with your body, because it literally says inhale a breath of life. And it's interesting because I was watching an interview with Sadhguru this week, and the subject of meditation came up. And the person who was interviewing him was like, how do we do meditation? How can we? And he goes, people in the Western world, you get it all wrong. He goes, when you focus on the body, do we ask, when you go into meditation, do you ask your lungs to stop working? Do you ask for your kidneys to stop working? Do you ask for your heart to stop working? No. So why do you ask your brain to stop working? That's not meditation. Meditation is about being in the moment, being present right now. And being present, to me, it's about being present with your breath. It's about just paying attention to the small, subtle things that are happening around you. So one of the ways that I found really clicked meditation for me was when I was in a really, really high survival mode. I was like stressed to the max. And I was in my little lounge. This is going back about 4 years ago now. And hi, Barry. So lovely. Lovely to have you with us. And I was sitting in my lounge, and I had these crystals in the lounge room window, and they put rainbows up against the wall. And I just sat there with my eyes open, and I just followed the rainbow with my eyes. And that's all I did. And I did that for about, 10 or 15 minutes. And I noticed that my breathing slowed down when I actually paid attention to it. I was like, all of a sudden, I just went, and then I went, and then I went, and my belly breathing came in. And I quite often belly breathe. I don't, because it's my training of doing musical instruments back in high school. So I diaphragmatic breathing most of the time. But at that point, it was just like this really sharp, big intake of breath. And my body just went. And it wasn't for a wee while that I discovered that what I was doing was active meditation. And they said, you know what, like the person who I was speaking to said, a lot of people, they find it hard to do active meditation. And I'm like, it was so easy, because as Melinda said, but my mind wanders off sometime in the meditation. I thought you had to keep your mind empty. No. Your brain is allowed to have thoughts. You just don't pay attention to them. we have something like, maybe one of you can remind me, but we have hundreds of thousands of thoughts in a day. And there's somebody that's done, like, somehow calculated it. I don't know how they calculated it, but it's like, at least, I would say, at least 60,000 thoughts in a day, right? How on earth are you going to control that many thoughts? You can't. But you can choose to just let them float on by. You can choose to just focus. And when I was speaking to this person about the act of meditation, they said, yeah, some people actually do it with a candle. They'll watch the flame of a candle. And I'm like, well, I do it with my rainbows. And she's like, fabulous. That's a fantastic thing to do. It's a great way to do it. So my healing room in the late afternoon, it will quite often get rainbows across the wall. And so, yeah, I'll lie down on my healing bed and I'll just watch the rainbows. And I'll get up after a period of time, however long my body requires, and I'll feel great. I feel calm. I feel very spacey. It's good. So Crystalie was talking about the car being yellow. Yes. Bring in the yellow. Yeah. Best kind of breathing, diaphragm breathing. I love active meditation. Me too, Crystalie. Me too. Melinda, that's why I like guided meditations, as it keeps me from wandering off somewhere else. Yes, exactly. The brain, see, I knew somebody out there. I wasn't too far off with my 65, but the brain generates roughly around 50 to 70 thoughts per day. So your guess of 60K was correct. Yay. I did remember something from, all those years ago at uni doing communication. Pretty sure that's where I first heard that. So interesting, right? Meditate. Focus on your breath. If nothing else, count. If you're finding it really, really hard, and I know it can be really hard to meditate, and because you're thinking it has to be done a certain way, there are so many options. But one of the other ways that I found really useful for me while I was trying to regulate my body, especially when I was in high survival mode and I was in a very stressful situations, I found counting. So I would breathe in and I would start off with a 4. So I do, your box breathing, and I'd do a 4 by 4. And then I changed it and I started doing, I would breathe in for 4 and then I'd breathe out for 5. And then I'd breathe in for 6 and out for 7. And then I'd breathe in for 8, out for 9, in for 10, out for 11. I'd usually be able to get up to about 12 counts. And by that stage, my breathing is so slow and intentional. I felt back in my body, or at least a hell of a lot closer to being back in my body. And I was able to just, it was like forcing my brain to go, you are safe, just with changing my breathing. And that was one of the other things. It's a very simple tool. I didn't even really think about the whole holding at the top. It might have held for like 3 seconds or something, but it was like just, and then, so every outwards breath was just that little bit longer, and that then invited the longer in breath. And I found that the counting helped me to stay on track. It also helped me to just trigger the oxytocin in my brain, the dopamine in my brain. It helped me to stop firing off on adrenaline. And And cortisol, my cortisol levels were through the bloody roof for a long time. Long time. So there we go. Breath. Brain and breath this week. To put it simply, oops. And yes, I love my guided meditations too. They are so good. And the theme for the week is your heart. Being in your heart space. So keep coming back to the heart space. Okay. So even though there's a bit of brain stuff, it's encouraging you still to integrate, to be centered, be mindful of what you're eating, be honoring of your body, all the parts of your body. Okay. So I'm going to pop those up there. And we're going to say Tamara. So hopefully that weekly reading is helpful for you all, give you a little bit of a nudge in the direction that will make this coming week a little bit easier, and see how you go. Satali breath is really good too. It's a cooling breath, perfect for stimulated nervous system, emotional overwhelm. Satali. I don't know what Satali breath is. Perhaps, Crystalie, are you able to describe that for me in a very short, concise way so that it doesn't get lost? Because sometimes if the comment's too big, it gets lost, it gets cut off. All right, because Tamara is really smart and she puts through a donation before the show even starts. I love it. And I appreciate it very, very much. Oh, something else. Just before I go on, it's this interviewer. I can't remember his name. I think it's We Have to Talk is his podcast. Anyway, he was saying to Sadhguru, he goes, I've noticed that I've started doing, hi and greeting people with sort of like prayer hands. And he goes, I noticed that you do that too. Can you tell me more about that? And Sadhguru said the most amazing thing. He said, our hands have so much energy flowing through them all the time. And he said, what doing this does is it grounds the energy. And I'm like, oh. And then I tried it and I was like, it does too. I feel centered when I do that. And it's like, I would encourage you guys to do that for yourselves. Like, just take a moment and see, how does your body respond to that? If you're not thinking about attaching something like religion to it, right? Don't attach religion to it. Just have it as an observation of what does your body do right at the moment, because I'm flowing with so much energies and I've got now Tamara's team here and all of that. My hands are very, very hot right now. But even then, I can feel it. My body just goes, It is. It's very, very grounding. Something to think about. Satali breathing technique that cools the body and calms the mind by inhaling through a curled tongue and exhaling through the nose. Can also do it through teeth and slight parted lips if you can't curl the tongue. So good. So are you talking about that way or that way? I imagine it's the first one. I can also do this way, but this isn't going to help with the breathing. But I can also flip my tongue. So I can go. So that's fun. Fun fact. Can you guys do that? I learned to do it as a kid. I don't know how or why. There was somebody, I remember it was a family friend, and I was all of maybe 3 or 4, and they could do it. And I was like, how do you do that? And they sort of showed me, and I was like, So I sat there, and it took me a while, but I got it. I got it. I can feel that. That is cooling. I like it. Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Crystal. That's awesome. I learned something new today. I'll always learn new things, but anyway. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you all tried that. Everybody else out there, give it a go. Breathing in through your curled tongue and breathe out through your nose. Ugh. And Crystal says, if you do it really slow, it's so regulating and soothing to the system. I can get that. Absolutely. It's amazing how breath and the brain and everything all works in together, isn't it? Fantastic. And I know sometimes it's hard to remember some of these tools when we're in spaces of like high emotional states or grief or anger, frustration, all those sorts of things. And it can, I totally get it. It can be so hard to remember the tools, which is why it's really good to practice these things when you're in a space of more calmness to start off with, when you're a little bit more regulated to start off with, and then maybe even practice them, put a little post-it note up somewhere where you can practice. So like the toilet wall, for example, is a really good place to put things like that. So that you can sit there and you go, oh yeah. So in case you want to know, sorry, Tamara, I have your cards here. So in case you want to know how it is spelled, so Satali. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. I'm saying it like I would see it. So here we go. In case you were wondering. Melinda said, yes, it was cooling as you draw the breath in through your curled tongue. And it wasn't just the breath, like the air moving on the tongue that was cool. It was like it made my whole mouth cool, which of course then your nose cools and then everything else. Melinda, you required to hear that today. Yes, the heat. You can cool it down now and exercise the tongue at the same time. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, post-it notes for you, Melinda, everywhere. Write it on your hand. Satali breathing. There you go. You know how sometimes we just require that little bit of contribution from somewhere. It might be a new tool. It might be something. And yes, apparently I am saying it correctly. So yay for me. Interesting. I wonder if I've released that meditation yet. I may not have. Okay. Tomorrow. The Shaman's Dream Oracle has come out to play for you. Your very first card is, and the reason why I went, I wonder if I've released that. So last year it would be, I don't know that you were around because you quite often have to zip off before the meditations, but I did a meditation around the root girl, and that is your very first card that has come out. And it's the disowned self. Okay. The hidden beauty, the requirement for acceptance and love. So this one, I'm just going to read this last little bit. It was this child self that came to be curled up at the roots of your sacred tree self. It's time to welcome her into your heart. And when you do, everything that you've been searching for becomes illuminated and your path lights up with renewed purpose. When you come to love Root Girl and claim her as your own, accepting her and your humanity, she is transformed just as you are. Then all manner of magic begins to arrive in abundant form. Look for the beauty. Okay. So the beauty of you, the beauty of your inner self, the beauty of, I'm hearing your nightmares and your pain. See the beauty in that. And work on actually loving all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. Okay. And all the ways that you have tried to disown parts of you. That is your mission for this week, or part of your mission this week. Okay. And if I haven't released the Root Girl meditation, and if you haven't watched it, I will make it my mission to make sure that gets done. Okay. Within 24 hours. Okay. So I've got my list of all my meditations. Some of them I have done, some I have not, but I'll make sure the Root Girl one is done and released up on YouTube for you. And I'll send you a message about that when it's done. Okay. Along with that, apparently, you're going to be doing an autumn clean. We've got a tidy house. Clarity and organization through inventory. An auspicious symbol. I don't think we've ever had the tidy house. Check that out. Isn't that a cool card? Again, very root tree like in there. Similar colors too. If your emotional world feels messy and unruly and you can't seem to get clear, it's time to see how your environment is affecting you. Although your inner world has a huge impact on what shows up on your outer world, the reverse is also true. You can be influenced by the people who populate your daily life and the energy of the objects you surround yourself with. Basically, everything in your surroundings. Now is the time for an inventory and full clearing of your environment. Ask for clarity from your relationships and do not make assumptions at this time. Clear and unambiguous communication is key. You may choose to let go of some people from your life when this shows up. This is a good thing. Otherwise, you may stay in these relationships too long out of a sense of obligation and social courtesy, when the truth is there is nothing holding you together. Be impeccable with your word, say what you mean, and be willing to make whatever changes are necessary to clean up your side of the street. If you know you are doing the right thing, it doesn't matter who has an opinion. That said, right now, once you are sure your proverbial house is a tidy one, there is a release of energy to begin new things, to enjoy life, and to know with certainty you are on the right path. So with this one, how I manage that one with being, I have the joke of I have just enough OCD to keep my ADHD in check. And it really helps me with my craft table / office space. Because right now I have 4 different things going on that table. And it got cleaned up for inspection, and now the 4 different things are out there again. And I was looking at it this morning going, either finish those things or put them away and finish them another day. Some things are a little bit more time sensitive, other things are not. So, okay, cool. And I can tell you that when that table has only either one project on it or it is completely clear, my brain feels nice and clear. Sometimes it's a sign where I'm avoiding making decisions or choices about something. So it's a really good physical sign that I've got to hold myself accountable. So where are you not holding yourself accountable? Where are you procrastinating on keeping your house tidy? Whether that be external or internal. Maybe the external is a reflection of the internal, which it quite often is. Bring in a little bit more OCD to help keep your ADHD in check. Okay. Now, interestingly, I did see Crystal said that she was looking at doing a detox this week. And perhaps it is also something for you to have a look at too tomorrow, because the 3rd card you have is Detox. Eliminating toxic thinking, repairing the body, mind, spirit, and cleaning house. Literally, that is what it says. So obviously, you gotta do some cleaning up this week. 2 completely different cards. When Detox card appears, it challenges you to discard the deep, dearly held judgments that you have passed over yourself and others. Release the people who you feel wronged or offended you. Recognize that they mirror the shadow aspects of your own soul. Yes, that's a tough pill to swallow. Only then can you cull from your life the toxic people you have allowed into your inner circle. It's time for a cleaning of your proverbial house. Get rid of the thoughts and personal judgments poisoning your mind. Eliminate the inauthentic beliefs of others you've adopted as your own. Do so before your mind makes you sick, and empty your literal cupboards of unhealthy junk food poisoning your body. What did I say? Develop mental clarity. Fast for one day or skip a meal to allow your body to cleanse itself and rid itself of toxins. Detox appears as a warning that you can no longer postpone self-care and pampering you for pampering that you long for. The time is now. Do healthy maintenance on your body before you have to make repairs that you never quite recover from. Detox has come to caution you that it is not too late, but you are at the 11th hour. Do not deprive yourself of the health you deserve. Okay? Interesting. What is that? Oh, it's her tail. It's her fishy tail up over this corner, up there. So she's a mermaid in the bathtub. All right. Ooh, I love this card too. Along the same and similar themes. Okay. You are going to fast over the new moon quite clearly. Yes, have started the process of tidying house. Fabulous. Keep going. Keep going. And bring in maybe some of these other colors. The orange, that's a card that has popped over between the weekly reading and your reading. The next card is Magician's sword, which is confidence in your magic. Nothing can stop you and the beauty you seek. Okay. When the magician's sword appears, you are called to cut the cords that bind you to old thought forms and beliefs, or to friends who are not true. That has been the theme across 3 of your cards tonight. So who the hell do you have in your world right now that is not being honoring of you, and therefore showing you where you're not honoring yourself? Who is that? Because I don't want to know. You know that for yourself. It's a rhetorical question. These cards are calling out whoever that is in your world. Okay. With the power of the magician's sword, nothing can stop you, hurt you, or turn you away from the beauty you seek or the goal you desire with all your heart. The sword is a tool, not a weapon. So make sure you wield it wisely for the greater good. Find the stuck places where you are kept tethered to a toxic person, a particular location, or a faulty thought or belief, and let the blade do its magic. You have a large endowment of magic available to you, and when you believe in miracles. But don't look to the heavens to grant you a wish. Look within. Use the magician's sword to cut through limiting beliefs, and remember that all beliefs are limiting. And focus your attention in order to create what you wish. You have all the tools you require for the task at hand. You need only muster the wherewithal to deploy the resources you have. When the magician's sword appears, it is time to get moving. This is not a tool for contemplation, for gazing at the finely polished edge. It is an instrument for calling for decisive action. And remember, the sword is alive with a wisdom you can summon to help you find the best course of action. Do not hesitate, act. This energy is this. This is the energy, and I'm giving it to you now, of I know my value. I know I'm lovable. I know I'm funny. I know I am beautiful. I know I am everything that I absolutely require in this world. I know I have purpose. I know what that purpose is. And fuck anybody who stands in my way. And anybody who tries to take that away from me in any way, shape, or form, fuck you, get out. That energy is this. It is a tool. Okay? I have had to be that energy in healing sessions when I've been, facilitating, even receiving. There was one particular healing session where I was receiving, and my female ancestors stepped in. But there was a small little contingent of them that stepped in that were trying to limit what was going on. I was having an aura clearing. And I felt them. I felt their wonky energy. And I just went, if you are not here to support and love me and bring in and energies that are conducive to me expanding and healing and doing better, fucking leave right now. Do not return until you are healed. And boom, they were gone. That is where that fiery Aries energy is really fucking useful. Right? It's when you get to use that energy to honor you and your process and your gifts and your magic in your body. It's not just about defending, it's about honor. Because the thing is, if you're not willing to do that for you, how can you expect anybody else to do that for you? Yes, we also have to be our softness and our gentleness. But you look at Mother Nature. She's not all airy-fairy all the time. She has her moments too, where she be that fiery, like, fuck you energy. Why do you think she does stuff like volcanoes erupting and landslides? And, you know, it's not just coincidence or randomness. It's her showing who's boss. Showing us puny little humans. Showing us puny little humans, like, you think you control me? You think, whatever. Here I go. I'll just go, meh. Oh, what do you know? Even within the natural world. Like the other day, I had, 2 spiders, a wolf spider eating a bloody huntsman in my house. Nature is brutal. It can be beautiful, but it's also brutal. And you don't see nature sitting there judging itself for its brutality. So why do you? Love all the parts of you. This is coming back to the root girl. The good, the bad, the ugly. And when you do love all the parts of you, you stop judging your potency. Because it's your potency which is the part that you try to suppress so much. And that's not going to help. Okay. Hope you enjoyed that energy. Use it as an inspiration if you choose. If you don't, it's okay too. That energy makes a lot of people feel very uncomfortable. And I get it. It is uncomfortable. It used to be uncomfortable for me to show it. Now, it's okay. It's just a part of who I am. And it's funny because when people go, like I had an incident, well over, it would be probably nearly a year and a half ago now, maybe even, it would be a year and a half to nearly 2 years ago now, where I was at work and working with a bunch of guys. We were on a big group job. And it was just us. The clients weren't around or anything. And they didn't do their job right. I was the supervisor for the day. And it was so funny because they were like thinking when I directed them to redo their job, I would say part of it was the fact that my face was saying, right? I was trying very hard to keep my face very neutral, but my face tells a story whether I like it or not. But it was my energy. I never said any words that were rude or disrespectful. I didn't even swear. But the person receiving that redirection got very upset. And when I ended up having to have a discussion with my manager about said interaction, I said, in my head, I went, if he thought that was me being, a bit full on, he has no fucking idea what that is. I was so restrained. So restrained. I didn't even raise my voice. And I thought, wow. Precious petal, my love. Like seriously, the energy that I was just here with you all to show and demonstrate that energy, even though I used swear words, I didn't have to use swear words to express the same thing. That wasn't even really there. Because I was in a bit of a different place. So interesting, hey? So much is said through our energy, through our body language and stuff like that. And it works as an energy healer as well. So if you're in that space of honoring you, you project the space of making your clients feel safe, because you feel safe within you. They instantly in their mind go, I can be safe with you. And I've noticed that the more I am safe with me, the more my clients, especially my energy healing clients, are engaging with me more and more. And that's a beautiful thing. Which leads us into our last card, our yummy card, which is receptive. Okay. This here, all of this that is in your cards readings today is about softening you. It's about honoring and softening so that you can receive with a lot more ease from your spirit team, from Mother Earth, from Father Sky, from the people around you that are honoring you. Okay. Thank you so much, Tamara. I am so, so grateful for you. And I will make sure that Root Girl meditation, if it's not up already, I'll make sure it's up in the next 24 hours. Okay. I adore you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your very kind donation. I'm so grateful for you and your continued support over here on Find You Fridays. And I appreciate you so much. I'm just going to put a note down here. There we go. Just to make sure. So you've said there that you have no idea I have so few people in my inner circle. I thought I'd weeded out all the not so good ones. Okay, cool. Cool. You did miss it the first time. So looking forward to it. Fabulous. If I recall correctly, Melinda, if you're still floating around, was that the meditation that I did when I came to your house? And I re-listened to it. I have a funny feeling that was. Because, fun fact, when I'm doing the meditation at the end of the night, oh, by the way, Edwina, you're up next, love, because you're also a super smart lady and you put in your donation before the show started. I think it was the Root Girl one that I did when I was at your place. I have a funny feeling it may have been. And so, yes, as I was saying, fun fact. And when I'm doing the meditations, it's like they're channeling. And quite often when I walk away from a meditation after I finished it, closed it off, I might remember fragments of it, but I don't often remember the totality of it. It is working on me as I'm channeling it to you guys, but it's more of a collective channeling, and it's almost too much for my brain to cognitize. So when I get to listen to my own meditations back, I receive them on a completely different level. And that to me is quite fun. And so I kind of like it when I do actually release the meditations as their own little separate entity, because it's like, this is a little gift. Like, wow. Wow. Oh, I said that. Wow. And there's that moment of acknowledgement that happens. And it's like, golly gosh, we did that thing. Well done, teams. Well done. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was around that time, wasn't it? Yay. Cool. Go. Oh, which way are we going, people? Thank you. What was the other? There was another thing I was going to talk with you guys about. Another little like. I think it was probably around the book series that I've been listening to, The Witches of Scotland. But I don't think I'll actually mention that here because there were parts of it that's just a little bit too political. And I don't particularly like going political here. The one thing I'll say is with everything that's going on right now, look at, this is an invitation. Look beyond what you're seeing in mainstream media. It's not just about following the money. That's an obvious one. We've known that for a long time, right? Maybe Melinda. I'll have another look at that one. But thank you for having a look at that. But yeah, think about if they were playing a big, huge show out front, and it's not just our country, it's some other countries that are being involved. What could they be trying to slide in the back door? What could they be trying to manipulate our brains into choosing? And that's all I'm going to say about that. What will you choose if you're not in fear? Because here's the cool thing. Fear activates your fight and flight response, which activates cortisol and adrenaline, which limits your brain's capacity to think laterally and to see beyond your tunnel vision. Okay? So if you're not in fear, you're not in fight and flight, you're fairly calm, you're feeling safe enough, which if you're in survival mode, that's a bit trickier, that one. But if you've got those, at least those first three, you've got a chance to see beyond. Oh dear. Love it. I think that's just good principles for life, personally, but let me double check. Oh, it's bothering me now. Hi, Malik. Say August, September, June, July, August. No, that's not the one. I definitely wrote it down because I remember seeing it actually just recently. Was with the root girl. Where are you? I'll find it. Because I was moving some files around the other day. And I saw it then. So I definitely know I've got it floating around. I don't think we did it this year, did we? I don't feel like it was this year. I feel like it's an older one. I'll find it. Back to Edwina. So the cards that you've got is the Mystical Healing from Ina Segal. These lovely cards. Okay. Show self-respect is your first card. Honor of yourself. How funny. Self-respect requires you to listen to the cycles of your body. Sorry. Clearly I was tuning in something today. And your inner voice, as well as discern what behavior, relationships, environment, food, beverage, work, etc. are healthy for you. Self-worth occurs when your world of thoughts and feelings is elevated into higher domains. This is when you start to know at the core of your being that you are a spirit and or soul, being supported by many angelic helpers. What can stop you from self-love and self-respect are the deep personal lies that you may have developed in the early years of your childhood of being unwanted, not good enough, not lovable enough, or not smart enough. This can plunge you into a perpetual self-doubt and self-sabotage. It is time to identify what is working in your life and what is harming you. This self-reflection will allow you to turn confusion and uncertainty into profound self-knowledge. All right. So I'm just going to read this out. So it is currently 1 hour and 35 minutes. Okay. And this is the action for this card. So any of you watching right now at 1 hour and 35, nearly 36 minutes, take 10 minutes to lie down, relax, and tune in to yourself. Ask yourself, where in my life am I pushing myself, taking on too many responsibilities, and spending time doing things that harm me? What are the things that hurt me? What changes can I start to make in order to feel healthier and create true self-respect? How can I focus on the higher me that is above the physical realm? Write these things down. Then on a daily basis, ask, am I being loving, kind, and respectful to myself? What am I doing for my higher nature to enable me to rise above the current circumstances? Okay. So that seems to be a big theme rolling through even our collective reading. You know, developing your mental clarity, being mindful of what you're eating, and literally, you know, discern what behavior, relationships, environment, food, beverage, work, etc. is healthy for you. So clearly the collective reading was for you as well. Clearly. So that's your first card, okay? Oh, I love this work. I seriously do. You guys are so cute. Oh, the second card that we have is Access Clear Thinking. Develop objective thinking about your situation and find the best solution. To think deeply about something, you have to develop your powers of concentration and allow yourself the time to connect all the pieces of your inner puzzle together. Profound thinking requires you to ask important questions such as, how much time and energy do I have available during the day? And am I using my time in the most constructive ways possible? What is the most important thing to focus on today? You are being presented with some important decisions. This card asks you not to jump to conclusions based on your emotions. Instead, take the time to look at all the options and points of views available. Through this type of thinking, you will activate your highest intuitive faculties and will discover a new way to do things, a way you have not yet thought of. You are also being called to divide your thinking between everyday affairs as well as higher spiritual truths, which require you to expand your thinking into multi-dimensional thinking. All right. So the other thing that was coming out as I was reading that is I was getting images of, you know, where you've got people in your life that are activating you massively right now, or even not even massively, just a bit. What is it about that they are reflecting back to you? Okay, so what do I mean by that? I got really, back in 2019, I got really, really pissed off with the fact that I kept attracting in these men or partners that were in some way slightly narcissistic and not mature, and would expect me to, or the relationship would develop in a way that I would end up being or feeling like their mother. And I got really, really angry and decided, that's it, whatever the fuck I've got to do to break that, I will do it. And so I went on a lovely journey and ended up in the land of theta, where we are smashing through beliefs and stuff like that, which was fantastic. Those beliefs. And in that journey, I discovered where the mirror of narcissism was sitting within me. and where it was, because I was like, okay, if we attract what we be, where is it in me that I am being that? And I'm like, okay, so I had to take a very good, hard, honest look, and brutally honest look at myself. As it said in one of the other cards, a tough pill to swallow, right? And I realized with absolute clarity that I was being that with my business of crafting possibilities. Because I started off going, well, am I like that with other people? Like with my friends? It was like, no. It was very heavy. I was like, well, am I doing that with my workmates? No. Very, very heavy again. Am I doing it with my family? No. Am I doing it with my partners? Like with my partner? No. Am I doing it with his family? No. So where am I doing it? And it was like, your business, your money flows. And I went, oh, shit. And that's when it clicked. That energy, it's not necessarily a direct mirror. Sometimes it's a slightly obtuse mirror, but it bounces around like a house of mirrors. And it still will attract in those energies. So if you haven't dealt with your old stuff, if you haven't dealt with the things that you've picked up in your childhood, those limiting beliefs and things that you have picked up in your childhood, if you have not dealt with them, you will attract in people who will re-cement the truth of those limiting beliefs. Like, for me, it was fine. If they're not going to do it, I'll do it. Right? If you want a job done properly, you do it yourself, right? Oh, I'm so glad I don't have that so much anymore. I try to empower people to do it to a good standard for themselves, and to be empowered to actually wish to do that. Makes me a very different leader these days. So it's time. It's time for you to expand out, access that clear thinking. And in doing so, you'll see yourself incredibly clearly. Okay? And that can be a bit tough. I highly recommend journaling. Your next card is listen to your intuition. Your intuition is constantly sending you messages. You are being asked to become fully aware of what your inner wisdom is trying to tell you about your health and your intimate as well as work-related relationships. There are particular aspects of your relationships that require attention and a new approach. There are certain people and experiences that you have outgrown. Change is coming, and you will require to make healthier choices. If you open the door to possibility, new people will appear in your life, and they will be able to offer you a different perspective on how to live, love, and work. Your body is also trying to give you a message about your health. There are signs and symbols all around you. It's your job to learn how to decipher them full stop. When you awaken your heart chakra correctly, your intuition can flourish, and you will know the difference between an illusion and real spiritual perception. So with this one, I am getting that it is time to remember how your body says yes and how your body says no. whether it be through the light and heavy tool, whether that be through using your body like a pendulum, or your other intuitive awarenesses inside of yourself. It's time. And it's time for you to really honor that messaging from your body. It is communicating with you all the time. And you override it a lot. And part of it is because, yes, you're a mum. Yes, you're a wife. Yes, you're a working woman. And so your spaces of do is a lot louder than the listen. And that's where the pain is coming. That's where it's coming from, because your body doesn't feel honored right now. You can still have all of those tasks and balance it out with listening. Okay. And one of the ways that I have found this particular aspect has shifted in my world is I don't wear a watch. I haven't for, probably 8 or 9 years now. And yes, I have my phone. However, what is really interesting to me is that when it comes time and I'm more relaxed in the mornings or whatever, if I'm listening to my body, I will leave perfectly on time and I will arrive to wherever I require to go perfectly on time. I allow my intuition to tell me. I allow my body to say, hey, you have to go now because there's a car crash and it's going to take you longer. Or, hey, actually just hold back a little bit because there's a car crash. But if we hold back 5 minutes, you'll get through, not a problem. And that's one of the significant ways that my body has shown me and reaffirmed to me often to listen. It's something so minor at the end of the day. Something that the skeptic in me would be going, I'm going to test this theory out and override it and then get frustrated. So try this week to not override your intuition as much. Okay? Honor you. Honor you. This last card. If I had received this card before I began my deep feminine journey in 2019, before I did my, made that choice to make the narcissism stop. If I had received this particular card, I would have poo-pooed it. I would have said, so not relevant to me. And yet, I also know that now that this card was absolutely relevant. So I'm just putting that out there for you. Back prior, people would say, oh, she's so lovely. She's so bright and bubbly. And she's just such a pleasure to have floating in and around us. So with all of that in mind, this card here. It says transform anger. Okay, now I shall read. Use your anger as a catalyst for change. In the past, anger has given you the right to blame other people for your limitations. It's time for you to face your anger and allow it to energize you instead of draining you. If there are things that are not working in your life, take responsibility and the steps to change them. You can no longer use your anger to give you a false sense of pride and for justifying criticizing, putting down, or resenting others. This is your opportunity to redeem yourself. Apologize for your behavior and become kinder towards yourself and others. If you are angry about a specific situation in society, transform your anger into passion and create positive change. Your action for this card, I'm going to read it out because this may help you to do some journaling. With whom are you angry? What would it take for you to let go of the anger? Who or what are you blaming? Take some deep breaths and calm yourself. I don't like that, but anyway. Imagine your anger in the shape of an uncontrollable raging lion. An uncontrollable lion raging and hurting everyone. See yourself outside of yourself and become aware of how your anger affects others. Ask the lion what it is most angry about, and then ask yourself, what is the lesson I am to learn from those experiences that I am denying? Put on some powerful music and move your body with the intention of freeing your anger. Write a letter expressing your anger. If you are blaming anyone in the letter, rewrite it until you take full responsibility and then burn the letters. Breathing slowly and deeply. Bring blue rays of peace into your body, into your mind. Create a symbol of peace and visualize it several times a day. Okay. Unprocessed anger creates so much dis-ease in your body. Dis-ease. Not disease, dis-ease. It literally changes the shape of your cells. Quite often, and this is a discussion I had today with my beautiful friend, quite often sitting underneath anger is grief. It's about a need or a requirement that hasn't been met at some point. And it's not to put the blame on anybody else. As I said earlier about the experience with my mum, right? I now know why things were chosen the way they were before we even became embodied. So this anger, this suppressed anger, and the good girl, the bubbly girl, the good wife, the good mum, that image is literally just that. It's an image. And I know because I used to have that. And underneath all of that is this big old pot of pissed off. We have not been taught to process our anger correctly, to process our grief correctly, to process our frustration correctly, our sadness. We can quite happily do joy and happiness and, sensual feelings and all of that sort of stuff. Disappointment, we have not. So with that, we come back to the journaling. We come back to movement. we come back to things like, if you follow Mama Gina's work, she talks about swamping, which is about bringing up those emotions through movement and sound. So listening to a really, really angry song, and like there's a song called Labor by Paris Paloma. That's a brilliant song for if you're really pissed off with what your husband or your workmates have been, you know, what you feel like they're making you do all the labor, right? And all they do is sit back and judge and say what, you know, shit job you're doing or whatever. Even if they're not, you feel like they are. Brilliant song for that. If you feel like you're always being pushed around and told what to do and never had your voice heard, you know, some other songs like Killing in the Name Of, brilliant. Get that anger out, you know, like the lyrics of on another one, can't remember if it's the same one. It's like these the specific lyric that I love, which goes, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. It might even be in Killing in the Name Of, I can't remember, but that specific line is like, you can just really let it out. And it's in the container of a song. So like when I was not in a space, because I was sharing a house with like my partner or whatever, and it's like I didn't have the physical space to just, my space became my car. And I would let out my anger in singing songs while driving or going to a little bit more secluded space and just fucking belt it out. Or I'd wait till I was in the house by myself. So I get it. It's not always easy. These days, I'm not so angry. And I'm definitely not so angry most of the time. Now my inside matches my outside. When I'm not matching, it crops up and it's really loud. Very, very loud. And it can get locked up in my body, which is what happened in February. And then I had to bring out all my tools to get it fixed. Because I prefer this space where I'm calm and I feel safe. And I feel happy and joyful. And joyful becomes more my aim. It's more my focus on the day-to-day. So transform your anger, my dear. So just to recap, your first card said show self-respect. So that was the first key as to why you're angry. You don't feel that you respect yourself, and therefore others don't respect you, which then reaffirms your belief that you don't respect yourself. Okay. And because you've got this lovely little toxic cycle going on in your head, you can't think clearly, because all that's doing is activating your sympathetic nervous system. It's activating your fight and flight. Okay. So to get out of that, come back to, what am I eating? Who am I choosing to be around? How do I actually feel about myself? What beliefs am I, aligning and agreeing with, which actually aren't true? Come back to that stuff. Start processing it through, writing it down. Take those few minutes. Listen to your intuition. Spend some time when you're in the shower or sitting on the loo or whatever, wherever you can find those few minutes for you, just you. Come back to your heart. Do the 90-second tool, where whatever emotion is coming up, put your hand on your heart, close your eyes, focus on that emotion, especially if it's one of those tough ones that we've said before, and count to 90. Take your time, count to 90, focus on that emotion. And even when your brain tries to say, give up now, it's 60 seconds, we don't need to do this anymore, keep counting. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. Just push through that moment where, you know, the ego tries to stop you, because that's the system it's used to. It's used to not processing properly. So you have to retrain your body. And you do this enough, and your body will start doing it automatically, and you'll actually start to process around stuff automatically. But we have to relearn these tools. The tools that we are being exposed to now are not new. We're just remembering them. Some of them have been suppressed for a very, very long time. And by a very long time, I mean well over 1,000 years, some of them. And now they're coming up, because this is exactly where we're supposed to be, right here and right now in this life, at this point in our progression, of our evolutionary progression. This is why we're now in the 4D world, where we're dealing with our emotions. It's our emotional shit. We're clearing house in a very fast way. My awareness is that we're only going to be in the 4D 2 to 3 years, depending on how the collective goes. It won't be like 10 years worth of being in the 4D. This is a transitional space. But that's why everybody's going, oh, yay for us. When all of empaths are going, yay, I'm so glad that you're getting in touch with your emotions now, because now I don't have to try and figure that out for you. But it does mean that we have to take responsibility for our own stuff, which is a good thing. Soften to you. It's not being softer with everybody else. It's about being softer to you and your heart, and listening and honoring you. Thank you, Edwina. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your incredibly generous donation. I am so grateful and so honored that you trust me to read for you. I appreciate you, and I hope this week to come is transformational for you. Thank you. All right, Crystal, I'm glad that you have enjoyed the show tonight. She says, such incredible cards tonight. I know why I was called to join. Even the ones for others are so aligned. Thank you. You are very, very welcome. Edwina says, thank you for another beautiful reading. Very grateful for you all. Yes, I agree. This is such a beautiful community, and it's small, but I feel so honored and privileged to have you all here. And it makes my heart so happy, so happy. So we are going to do a quick round of poetry. Okay. And we're going to expand out. And then, all right. And then just seeing if they wish me, which, as far as the teams, etc., which way they wish me to go with the question. Okay, general. Cool, thank you. So sometimes when we play with this book, so this is for those of you who are a little bit new here. This is my poetry book that it's an intuitive poetry book. I wrote it. I didn't know I was writing an intuitive poetry book, but the poetry book itself did. So it's consciousness. So, for example, when that the previous reading with Tamara, and it was saying there, like, the stuff that you surround yourself with, everything has consciousness, and I mean everything. In my background, right, we've got the flags that has consciousness. That picture there of Metatron, that has consciousness. This lovely stick, which has been created to be a snake, that has consciousness. The little floaty, feathery, fluffy thingies, they have consciousness. My tree absolutely has consciousness, but so do the lights on the tree, right? When I decorate, I ask each thing where it would like to go, and it tells me. This book was creating itself for over 25 years, and I had no idea. I was just writing down my heart. So when it became an intuitive poetry book after it was released, I was like, oh, this is a bit cool, bit weird, but okay, whatever. I didn't realize just how much of an intuitive poetry book it is. The way that the thing that is really awesome about it is that the way that we use it means we can tune in on our own intuition, your intuition, which is what I love about it. All right. So we're going to do a quick expanding out, and then we are going to do a reading from, like, each of you is going to select a number, and then I will read it out for you and see what else comes through along with that poem. So it's a bit of a different way of tuning into your awareness for you, and for me to be able to facilitate in that. All right. So close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in and out. Taking a big deep breath in, bringing Mother Earth energy up through your body. And breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Bring Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Now become aware of your body. Become aware of your organs and your blood and your bones and your muscles and your skin and your brain, your eyes and your ears. Become aware of your nose and your mouth, your legs, your feet, your fingertips. Paying close attention to each of those body parts and all the ones in between. And just taking a brief moment to acknowledge the miraculousness of how all of this is working together in absolute synchronicity. It's like, wow, what a marvel you are. What a miracle and a marvel. And now, as you expand out your awareness beyond your body, beyond your cells and molecules, all the way out in a big bubble all around you, beyond the size of your home, beyond the size of the country that you're in, beyond the size of the planet, expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the solar system, out beyond the size of the galaxies, and now out beyond the size of the universes. Take a big deep breath in and out. Beautiful. Keep your awareness nice and expanded out. Now focusing on your body once more. And you're going to grab your sense of allowance and you're going to expand that out in a big bubble all around you. Expanding out your sense of allowance out beyond the size of your body, beyond the size of your home, wherever you are right now, beyond the size of your country, out beyond the size of the planet, out beyond the size of the solar system. Keep expanding out your allowance beyond the size of the galaxies, beyond the size of the universes. And now expanding out your allowance greater than your awareness. Big deep breath in. And just observe your body relaxing very deeply. Beautiful. And now for this week to come, and in relation to this beautiful big new moon that is coming through, what number between and including 1 and 88 is going to create the most for you? Cool. Now, Crystalie, I know you've already put a number in there. However, has it stayed that same number, given the question that I just asked? That's why we got to wait. Melinda. Yep, I knew it would change. That's why I was looking at the time and I was like, yeah, nah, because I hadn't even asked the question yet. Because I didn't even know what the question was going to be. Okay, Melinda, 43 for you, which is Paths and Fate. After all these years, could it be so? Could I still be in love? The ache in my heart says yes. The voices around me say it would be a mistake. But then I've always made my own way. I have loved another so completely, but still I love you. We have both grown in our feeling, minds, and wisdom, and once again our paths have crossed. This time, I think, we require to do something to put my heart at ease. Fate is trying its hardest to push us together, and sometimes it's best to flow freely with fate. I have come to a place of peace in my life, of understanding and of patience. I feel that you have too. This may be a sign that at last we are ready for each other, and that this world and the people in it are ready for us. So on the surface, of course, this looks like it's a lovey-dovey poem. No. For Melinda, it's not a lovey-dovey poem. Sorry, darling. This is a poem of you have made your own way. And everything is happening in its own divine timing. And it is totally appropriate for where you're at right now. And where you're at with certain things happening around you, career, family, friends, I'm getting stability right now, financial stability. And that's actually what's really important at this moment. Do it your way. Do your work your way. And obviously honoring of the other people within the company that you work for and with. Don't try to be anyone else. Don't try to hold on to something that's just going to slip through your fingers anyway. Because that's what a lot of the themes with this poem are actually about. And it's not necessary for me to read to you the blurb that's at the bottom, but that's the general gist. It's like just keep building up and adding to your, own self-worth. That moment before of going, when I was being that energy, that energy, keep doing your version of that. I know my worth. I know I am lovable. I am loved. I know deeply in my heart and my bones that this love I have for others, I have equally for me. And anybody who comes into my space that does not share that will not get to stay. Anybody who comes into my space that doesn't honor that doesn't get to stay. It's like that standing tall, confident, calm confidence. That is what you're after this week. All right. Thank you for coming to play. All right. Christine chose 47. So fragile. My sensitive soul, you're so easily hurt. I never intended to make you angry. I was only telling what I thought was the truth. There have been times when I've been offended, but I try to let it slide. How can I apologize if you won't listen? Your eyes are cold, and this makes me ache to my core. Please smile again and let your arms accept my embrace. For you, Christine, I'm going to read the bottom part. And the emotional manipulation cycle begins. The cutting off of the parts and pieces of me, including my voice, just to keep him happy begins. The need to want to be loved and accepted by someone who abuses me continues. And the want to take care of a wounded soul continues. Okay, so with this, Where are you neglecting your focus for this week? Is where are you neglecting you in favor of trying to keep someone else happy? Where are you putting someone else's emotional garbage higher on your list of priorities than your own love of self, your own happiness, your own joy? Seems you're cleaning house too. And until you tackle that, it seems there's a lot of other things around that are going to continue to be a problem. Okay. I did have throat chakra pulled out card when asked what chakra is blocked. Yeah. Suppressing of the voice is huge. And the fact that you chose that particular poem shows me that. Shows me where you're suppressing your voice. It shows me where you're suppressing your anger. It shows me where you're suppressing your frustration, where you're not expressing where you require to be loved. Because as soon as you express where you desire to be loved and honored and respected, you're squashed. You're disrespected. That's all reflected in that poem. So as I said, right at the bottom there, the need to want to be loved and accepted by someone else who abuses me continues. That was a theme at that point in my life. So look at that for you. Okay? Tough stuff. But we're cleaning house. That's what this time's all about. Good luck and thank you for coming to play. Crystalie. All right, 46. How interesting. The one just before. Let's see what you get. Penchant. As you leave, once again, my heart is aching. The tears are falling. I am in so deep, it scares me. A simple word can hurt, yet a gentle embrace can comfort. The days can be so long, but the evenings are only a second. To sleep without you is a troubled sleep, filled with only dreams and arms grasping at the empty space beside. So I'm going to read the blurb at the bottom of this one and see what comes out, because I'm getting the call to do that for you. The last few lines are the key to how the next 7.5 years progressed. My awareness was that he was never really there with me, not in body or to nurture or to create more. The act of reaching out for him in my sleep was something that continued for many years, literally patting the space beside me while I slept to check he was there, sometimes even smacking his head. That last one was a bit of a funny joke, but it's true. So as I was reading that last bit, this isn't about your partner. This is more about this. There may still be some very small little bits floating around where the trust is still not, I'm hearing the words instantaneous yet. It's like there's still a little bit of like trust, but it's not trust of him, it's more trust you, where you like there's this funny little crook in your world where it's like where you just have to forgive yourself. for your past actions. There's something, just there's a little something in there where it's like, I've made mistakes. We've all fucking made mistakes. But this one little thing is creating a bit of a wrinkle in your world where it's preventing you from being able to fully flourish. Because it's like the old thing of waiting for the next shoe to fall. But normally that would be in relation to the other person. This is about you. This is about where you're waiting for your own shoe to fall, for things to fuck up and not work out properly. So just have a little look at where that might be in your world. And I get it's really minor, but it's the ripple that it's creating is being a real pain in the bum. It's kind of like just a little irritation there, where it's like, if you just ping, and it's to do with finances. There's a little burr in your sock that's creating this. Okay. So yeah, just, it's tiny. It's nothing hugely significant, but it's enough. So you said, yep, know exactly what you're talking. Time to do some work, and you've got all the tools, so you know what you got to do there. And thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to play. So appreciate you coming and being with us and enjoying this space with us. I'm so grateful, so grateful. How did I get so lucky? Love this book. All right. Yay. All right. Meditation time. Let me finish my tea. It's the what was it? I think it's the Higher Living one with ashwagandha and tulsi tea. I do enjoy that tea a lot. Thank you. I'm grateful for my book. Seriously. One of these days, soonish, I get through the winter time, I'm going to be working on my cards again. I'm looking forward to that. That requires me to put away my 4 projects that are currently floating around my craft table. Oh, dearie me. All right. Just looking at that. Where are we going to go? Okay. Cool. Night, Melinda. Big day tomorrow. Cool. Good night. Thank you for being here. All right. Christine is so excited and looking forward to my session with you. Yay! How does it get any better? I'm looking forward to my session with you too, Christine. Yeah. Okay. So tonight, there's been a lot of themes around clarity, mental clarity, health, healing, anger, clearing house, that sort of thing. It seems to be like a rolling theme across our readings and messages tonight. So we're going to go up to theta. We're all nicely expanded out now. We're going to go up to theta, and we're going to have some energetic clearing out of stuff that is preventing you from enjoying your full, delicious, joyful life. Perhaps it's stuff that's come through with the poetry reading or the card readings tonight. Maybe it's stuff that's just been like you've heard somebody else's readings or cards and kind of gone, oh, that feels relevant for me too. Maybe it's something that I've said tonight in one of my sharings, whatever it might be. But we have some interesting themes that have come up tonight, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you all sitting here with me with it. So, closing our eyes. Big deep breath in to the bottom of your belly. And breathing out. Now imagine that there is a big, beautiful, bright, white, opalescent light shining into your heart, moving down your body, through your legs, through your feet, down into the center of Mother Earth. This beautiful, bright, white, opalescent light curls around the center of Mother Earth and moves all the way back up, through all the crystalline layers, gathering any energies especially for you, for this little healing, this meditation, coming up through your feet and your legs, all the way up through your body, out through your head, where it creates a big bubble above your head. Now imagine that you're inside that bubble, and now you're floating up higher and higher. And as you move through the layers, the light and the dark light, the rainbow jelly light clouds and the pink misty clouds, going up through to the big opening, through the big opening into theta, into the seventh plane of existence, where you're completely, infinitely surrounded by unconditional love. Take a big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, the bubble around you dissolves. Taking another big deep breath in, bringing the unconditional love all the way through your body. And as you breathe out, any energies that are ready to leave now can leave, go up to Creator, to the universe, to be cleansed and cleared, never to return to you again. Take another couple of big deep breaths, enjoying the feeling of unconditional love flowing through every cell and molecule of your body. Enjoying the feeling of your body calming, of your cortisol retreating, of your brain going, oh, we can release dopamine and oxytocin now. We can release all of our happy feel-good hormones. Yay! Feeling those cells within your body which have been misshapen by stress, anxiety, other emotions that haven't been processed, starting to form back into their proper spherical shape. And now imagine that you are watching a scene in front of you, kind of like a play, and you're in the audience. And the scene in front of you that you're seeing being played out is you. You're watching yourself around the house or in your workplace, wherever you are experiencing or have experienced in the past, those times where you have been so angry, ragingly angry. And these moments are ones that have not yet been processed. You are observing how you responded to your anger. You are observing only what that anger and the response did to your body. Remembering this is all stuff that you've already experienced. You're seeing how that repressed and unexpressed anger changed your interactions with other people. For the good, the bad, the ugly, or the awesome. And perhaps you're even seeing how you used that anger as a potent tool to get things done. Maybe you cleaned the house really, really well and fast. Maybe you use that anger in some other way as a potency. Maybe you used it around the time of protesting and letting it out that way. Maybe you used it in exercise, or maybe that's an invitation for you to do so in the future. Now, as you're seeing and observing these scenes of you and how you haven't perhaps created a very safe place for you to express your anger, I'd now like you to travel back in time to the very first time you were ever angry that you can remember and didn't feel like you could express that anger. Or maybe you did express your anger and was very quickly shut down. Told that nice girls and boys don't do that. Maybe expressing your anger was seen as a threat to someone else, a parent or a sibling, when all you were doing was trying to express your frustration about not being able to do something or say something. Maybe you were confused. Whatever that is for you, observe it. Observe that little version of you being lost and confused and therefore angry when that little child's needs were not being met. See how the progression between the previous scene that we were just observing to this one, see how those pathways developed See how that suppressed anger in the body affected the adult body. Perhaps it's made pain in the hips or the back or the shoulders or the neck or the jaw, or maybe all of them. Maybe it's affected your eyesight because that suppressed anger has made it difficult for you to see either right now or into the future. Up close or distance. And also observe how all of that repressed anger and therefore sadness and grief has affected and put up barriers in communication between you and those that you love, and made it almost impossible to communicate clearly. It's like, see all of that playing out like a stage. See these little walls coming up. Big, beautiful play happening now. They're all in front of you. Putting the pieces together, seeing how that first interaction was the catalyst for the adult version. And now I'd like you to imagine that you're now getting up out of that chair, out of the audience, and you're now going to become a part of that scene. But you're coming in the form of a guardian angel. A guardian angel for that young version of you. And as you step in as the guardian angel, little version of you, and that little version of you is so angry. And she is so angry that there's ripples of energy firing off. And it's almost like the little version of you is getting ready to take off into space. There's so much energy there. And you, as the beautiful adult version of you, looks at that little version and takes their hand and looks deeply into their eyes and says the words that the little version of you required to hear at that time. Maybe it was, I'm here for you. Perhaps there's no words to say. Maybe it's just a physical touch that little version of you required, not to be isolated and separated from everybody else, left to stew in your own emotions, being left to go and think about what you have done, which just adds to the confusion. And as that little version of you looks up into the eyes of the guardian angel version of you, and that little version is still slightly simmering, Maybe they can't quite articulate yet what they require. It's okay. Give them time. Breathe deeply. Allow them the space to regulate, co-regulate with you. To feel that feeling all the way around to completion. To the point where they can now begin to express themselves. And you ask gently, for what reason are you angry? And they're likely to come back now and say, I'm not angry. For what reason are you confused or frustrated? And they will now tell you. They were confused or frustrated because and whatever that is, acknowledge it. And thank them for expressing their confusion and their frustration. And whatever it is that they're confused or frustrated about, give them the clarity now. Even if it's adult concepts, it's okay. Because this is you. You are talking to you. And you are far smarter than what the adults around you at that time gave you credit for. So let them know. Tell them the information. Ease the confusion and the frustration. Just give it a little bit more of a moment so you can have this conversation with your inner self, your little version of you. Keep being that steady, calm, confident, just like a guardian angel would be. Reassure them if that's what's required. Beautiful. And now pull them in or encourage or invite them in for a big, big hug. Allowing your angelic healing magic, your magic, to flow through that little wee body and then receive from the little wee body through yours as well, as they give you the gift of innocent love. Feel that penetrating through every cell of your body, right out to the very fingertips, down to your toes and to the top of your head, and every single cell and molecule right through out into your auric fields. And as you breathe out and fill your heart space with the unconditional love that's all around you, flow that back through to the little version of you, all the way out to the auric fields. And then the little version of you looks up and smiles the biggest smile, and then dances away to go and play with a light, joyful heart, instantaneously remembering what it means to be a child full of wonder, full of lightness and happiness and joyfulness. As you step back away from the stage and now observe the older version of you. And in this moment, you can see that same scene, but it's completely changed. There may still be an incident which has created the ripple where previously you felt like you had to shut down your anger and you couldn't speak. And now you see yourself doing that scene completely differently. You see yourself being calm and confident and knowing that you are loved and that you are lovable and that you are worthy. And you see that coming through and being woven through every single word that comes out of your mouth. So you are speaking with integrity now. Even if there are a few little wobbles in there, because we're all human. But you see now that you can express yourself. And that the other person, because you're coming from that place of healed, not necessarily healing or unhealed, but healed, that little pathway. They feel you, they feel your energy, and so they are far more receptive to receiving where you're not happy, where something that has happened has made you feel a little bit wonky or crunchy. And you see the repair in the conversation and the relationship happening. And that now gives you the gift of confidence to move forward in your life. With the gentle, quiet knowing that the scene that you just saw of two adults having a conscious conversation. Two adults of consciousness having a conversation, honoring each other, respecting each other's viewpoints, and being able to move forward in an honoring way is now the you of the future, of the right now. And with that, the curtains close over the little theatre scene. And your heart is full. And your shoulders are back and you're standing taller. And you feel that you now comprehend where a boundary is required and how to stand up for yourself and be gentle with it, but firm. And with that, and another lovely big deep breath, just move your body a little bit. We're going to now move back down out of theta, back through the pink misty clouds, back through the rainbow jelly light clouds, back through to your body, where everything that we have just worked through integrates into your body instantaneously. And now you step out and imagine that you're underneath a big, beautiful crystalline waterfall, and the water is flowing over and through every cell and molecule of your body, just washing away any other little fragments that are ready to go, and soothing all your cells and molecules, including in your brain and your ego, so that you may feel comfortable and safe enough to integrate everything that you have done tonight. Stepping out from the big, beautiful crystalline waterfall onto a lovely big river rock. You feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. Take a big deep breath in. Breathing out. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Holding yourself. Just give your arms a little bit of a squeeze. Your sides. Hand on your heart, just to have that moment of, I love you, I care for you, you're amazing. What a brilliant, brilliant piece of magic you are. You're so smart. And thank you for telling me where that anger was being stored. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. When you're ready, open your eyes. For self-care, please make sure you drink some water now. Have a little bit of salt. And know that when we do energy healing, we always use a lot of water and a lot of salt. So please take care of yourself. Make sure you do that. Hydration, a little bit of salt. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and that you got some insights as to maybe where that little bit of anger originated. It's not as clear cut as you might think. I adore you. Thank you for being here. I'm incredibly grateful for this time with you, your precious, precious time. And until I see you next time, get out, do something tasty for yourself. Remember, be mindful of what you're eating. To rediscover where your sparkle is this week so that you can access your innovative thinking. And inhale a breath of life. Thank you for being here. Until I see you next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. Bye-bye for now.